Hey everybody, welcome back to Princess Friend. I'm your host, Princess Friend. Hey everybody, welcome back to Princess Friend. I'm your host, Princess Friend, and we're exploring music through Prince. And I assume that I think I timed that wrong, and I started talking before we were actually live, so that's kind of interesting. Today, I wanted to do a fun kind of palate cleanser a little bit. It's Mother's Day, so I don't have a lot of time to work on a video, but we are doing, a video a day in May, so I need to make sure that we are keeping up with that, obviously. So, I thought today would be kind of a fun way for us to just kind of jump on and do a Q&A. And I've been getting a lot of questions, obviously, because we have the bit.ly/ ask a friend link in the description of every video, where everybody can come and they can send me questions, and maybe I'll go around and answer them. So I decided today would be a day. I'm going to go ahead, and I have a bunch of them here, and I'm going to try and answer as many of them as I can. At the same time, I want to obviously answer some of the questions that you guys have here live as well. Obviously, when we start getting more and more people in the chat room, the chat does jump around. You know how I am. I try to get to everybody's question, but I can't always. So don't forget that you do have the option to do the super chat there, which is you just throw a couple of dollars in there, and it highlights your question so that I definitely see it. If I don't get to your question, I apologize. But sometimes it's just not really all that great on there. Real quick, I want to give a great shout out to my amazing patrons. And you can become a patron at patreon.com/princessfriend. It's a really good way to support the channel. But I did want to just thank them real quick. I've been interacting with them quite a bit over the last few weeks, and I finally got a bunch of their addresses, and I'm sending them sticker packs, and it's going to be a Princess Friend sticker as well as a Student of Prince sticker. So I was very excited that we're actually getting those out. And even the international people, like I had a few international people were like, you don't have to spend money to send it to me. And I'm like, it's 3 stamps instead of 1. So it's not like it's that big of a deal. It's, instead of 40 cents, it's $1.15. Fine, I'll send you, it's fine, I'll send it to you. But it is Mother's Day, and we usually do here in my household a mother's kind of early dinner. So we're having dinner around 4. Me and my wife are going to make a really great dinner for our moms, and then we watch a superhero movie. It's a thing every year. We have dinner with our moms and we watch a superhero movie. So yesterday we did. Yesterday was usually what we do is Saturday is my wife. And we do Mother's Day for her, and then Sunday the 2 of us do it for our moms. So yesterday we went to the beach and we hung out and we had a really great dinner that she wanted. She got to do everything that she wanted to do yesterday. Today it's about our moms, so it should be fun. But anyway, I wanted to jump on here and do a Q&A before all of that craziness happens later. So anyway, thank you to everybody who's here, and don't forget to follow me at social media at PrincessFriendYT. And yeah, I think that's it, right? Yeah, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can hit me up on there. So I have a few questions here that I'm gonna go ahead and answer. You guys keep putting your questions in the chat, and I will come back around to those questions. But I do have a few questions here that I did want to tackle here. So the first one is one, I guess somebody just got done watching the best bassist video that we did, the judges panel there, and somebody says, how could you possibly leave Larry Graham off of the best bass player list? Okay, that's actually a pretty easy one to answer. The reason why Larry Graham was not on the list of Prince's best bass players is because Larry Graham was never a member of Prince's band. They played together for several years. They toured together, Graham Central Station and Prince and the New Power Generation. And they would come together and they would play on each other's stage and they would do all that stuff. He actually never played in Prince's band officially, though. Likewise, when I was doing research, even in the years where he did play, in Prince's band. He was in vocals in some of those songs that are on record, but never actually on the bass, which I always thought was kind of weird. Live, yes, but not on record. So that's why I didn't include him on the list. There you go. It seemed like a pretty easy first question. That's kind of I'm throwing myself softballs here to start with. So and yeah, and yes, Don, he is really, really great, but he wasn't on the list of Prince's best bass players because technically he was never on Prince's band. They loved just playing together though. So there you go. I have one here. It says, "Do you think they should reissue Crystal Ball and Emancipation?" So I think that they should reissue everything, obviously, eventually. The next one that I think that they're going to end up doing is going to be 1999. That makes sense generally because 1999 was his second best-selling album. So you definitely want to get, they did Purple Rain remaster and deluxe and all that stuff. It makes sense to go ahead and do the next one. So there you go. I really dig that specifically. In terms of the reissues, I think they're doing a pretty good job. But the next big deluxe thing, I think, would be Crystal Ball, Emancipation. There's probably like tons of songs around that time period too that never got on record. So I think that would be really nice to get those out. I mean, reissues is different than a deluxe remaster. So reissues, yes, but remaster and that stuff, that would be even better, especially for Emancipation, which everybody here knows that Emancipation is one of my favorite Prince albums. Mostly it's also linked to like the concert that I saw and it was like, the best thing ever, it's all my favorite stuff, obviously. Crystal Ball is less my favorite, mostly because it's a collection of a bunch of like old 80s songs that he never released and stuff. There's some 90s stuff in there too, but it's less my speed than other stuff. But I think they should. I think that eventually they need to reissue everything because Prince was amazing at doing his own marketing and all that stuff. But in doing it himself, he did lack the reach to get his albums into as many people's hands as possible. So just getting them in more people's hands is going to increase his profile and make everybody love Prince even more. And so many people are discovering Prince now that he's gone and going, man, I really slept on this guy. And yeah, you really did. But hopefully with the reissues, with the new albums, with all these things coming out, it's going to rectify a lot of that. So let's hope. So yes, I think that they should. And I'm marking off these questions here as I answer them. Let's see. Did Prince write "What Have You Done For Me Lately" by Janet Jackson? Okay, so I did do a little bit of research on this before jumping into this live stream. And from what I have been able to find online, it says that it's a little bit contested. Prince apparently came up with a riff that was similar to that, but Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis took it and actually like made it into a song. So we can't, I mean, you can say like, if I went and then you took and made an actual song about it, did I write that song or did you write that song? I mean, all I did was go so I don't know, that's kind of what I got from the little bit of research that I did. It was that it was kind of all over the place and no one really knows who wrote the song, but Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis's names are on it. So I say it's them. That's just personally my opinion. Because it was something that they were already working on. Prince kind of gave his 2 cents, but I'm pretty sure it was a them thing. So that's just me. And it's probably neither here nor there, but hey, it's a question. So I answered the question. What was the best piece of advice that Prince offered to new and emerging artists? That's the next question. Well, I mean, that's a pretty easy one, actually. A lot of the people who have come out and talked about their interactions with Prince have said that he talked a lot about the record industry. He also talked a lot to artists of color and told them like don't let the white man control your music and your art. Don't be a slave to the industry, which is largely owned by old white men, and forge your own path and become your own thing. And that was a lot of what Prince was doing, especially in the later years. In the earlier years, it wasn't necessarily that. He was kind of just there, and he was caught up in it all. But later on in his years, he really, really was doing more mentorship. And I was having a discussion with Neil Carlin about this, and that interview will be up this week. But there was one thing that I said in that, and it was that you know the different relationships is based on when you knew Prince, because if you look at in later years, his relationships with everybody was pretty much a mentor apprentice kind of thing. It was less of let's do this together and more like I've already been there, let me show you how to get there. And everybody who came through his camp later on was primed and trained to go out there and like conquer the world, which is an amazing thing that Prince did for the people in his band and the people that he saw had real potential. So there you go. So don't trust the record industry. Black people need to own black things. That's a big thing. I've always said that. So there you go. It's a big thing with Prince. Question number something. What are we on? 5? Okay, we're on the fifth question. Does the vault really matter at this point? Yes. That seems like an easy one. The vault itself, no, because the vault itself is a room in Paisley Park that's now emptied out, and there you go. There's the music and stuff isn't in there anymore. The vault is more, it's all been taken and digitized, and it's all in Iron Mountain, and it's all just kind of there. So technically, the vault itself, that room, doesn't matter. But there you go. So, bam. Got that one answered. Do I believe Prince conspiracies? Okay. Well, that's an interesting one. I would say generally no. But I would say that also the reason that I don't talk a lot about Prince conspiracies and all that stuff is that I don't like to talk about stuff that I don't know about. So if there is, okay, so it's not paranoia if they really are out to get you. So some of these things are like, well, the lines definitely connect. So there's definitely something there. Who's to say what it actually is? And it would require somebody with a much more trained eye than myself in order to figure it out. But I'm always open to new thoughts, new theories. But only time will tell with whether any of those actually become real. And I'm definitely not one for making my mind up before the truth is revealed. I don't like to go off of, well, this person said this and that person said this, and trying to project my own thoughts, trying to come up with an answer. I like it when the answer is bam, there. So there you go. We're up to 69 people here. Happy Mother's Day to everybody, by the way. I'm wondering I wonder if everybody's like really busy today, and but I'm wondering if like Mother's Day is when we're gonna beat our record. I believe our record of people in here at one time, I think, is 107. I think is the most that I had in here at once. So I'm pretty excited about the possibility of that. So we'll see what happens. Okay, so this question was it was referencing the Prince Estate Let's Get It Straight video that I did. And this one is the if the siblings have nothing to do with the estate, then why did the estate take out Prince's ashes from Paisley? So because they said it was a family request. So yes, so the video that I kind of covered, and hello to everybody who's showing up. The video that I did was like, if you're going to be angry, make sure that you're angry at the right people, is basically what my video said. So, a lot of people are like, Paisley, I don't like Paisley, so the estate sucks. It's like, well, Paisley is a separate entity. It is owned by the estate, but it is a separate entity. Like, well, I don't like that they're coming out with so many reissues. Where's the new Vault music? Well, the reissues are one company and the Vault music is going to be another company. So it was more just a, like, if you're going to get mad, like, I'm not saying don't get mad, but if you're going to get mad, direct that anger towards the right people, essentially. So, so that's basically where I'm at with that. But this question is, if the siblings had nothing to do with the estate, then why did the estate take out Prince's ashes? And it's because the family actually has, I don't want to say ownership, but they have like that jurisdiction, I guess, over the remains of a family member. They can dictate where those go. Now, of course, they were taken out and then put back in, but they're not visible anymore. So I did a video about that. Like, they are still in the building. But all of that stuff can be kind of confusing. There are a lot of different people who are doing a lot of different things in the estate, and they all have different power over different things. So it's a little bit weird. So let's see. I tried to go to your shirt design site. It says it's unpublished. Are you going to bring it back? So this is an interesting one. So I did take down my store that I had for my t-shirts. And I think I've explained it before, but I'll briefly, real quick. As I've started to become a little bit more known and have a little bit more notoriety, I kind of wanted to remove any reason for the estate to like get mad at me. So, but what I'm going to probably do is start with doing some like single shirt print runs. So instead of having a store where everybody can just go and just buy whatever, I'm going to probably do something like, hey, this month we're going to be featuring this shirt. Anybody who wants this shirt can go to princessfriend.com and put in an order for that shirt, and then when the month is over, I'll do a print run and everybody will get their shirts. More than likely, that's what I'll start doing, is doing single design print runs, and I think that that's probably going to serve everybody better, and and not put us, I guess, so much on everybody's radar. So I ain't looking to cause no trouble or get in trouble here. What is your take on Paisley Park? Are the tours great? Thank you. I like Paisley, and the tours are pretty good. I actually have a final review for Celebration that is going to be coming out in about a week. So look out for that, and then you'll be able to see my final thoughts. So, do I own any bootlegs? I do. I actually own quite a few bootlegs, but I didn't actually own any bootlegs really until I started my YouTube channel. And then a ton of people started saying, well, do you have this? Do you have that? Do you have this? And I'm like, I don't have any of this stuff. So they sent me like a ton of things. And now I have a pretty deep bootleg collection. um, but I was never really into boot. I mean, there was so much official music that I never necessarily like needed or to like go out and try and find these other, bootleg songs. But I eventually got them, and some of them are not great quality, but a lot of them are really great. I mean, and that's the thing is, especially as soon as you know all of the music that's out there, it really makes it even more of a mystery as to like why these songs have not been thrown out more. Like they need to start really putting some albums together. Like they could reconstruct the album Yellow that Prince was going to put out. They could reconstruct the Dream Factory that Prince was going to put out. There's a lot of different ones. That people that there's like a ton of songs out there, and it's like they're kind of scraping the barrel at this point, and they're like, well, then we'll get these demo versions of these songs, or we'll release this thing, or we'll release this thing. It's like it's all rehashes of things that we've already heard, when there really is a ton of songs that we really have not heard before that people could be checking out. Like it really needs to do that. So I don't know. It's just kind of weird. So yeah, so there you go. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I've answered 10 questions. You know what? I think 10 is fine. That's 10 pre-planned questions. I mean, as pre-planned as I do, you know me. I don't necessarily plan anything. Um, but I'm going to go ahead and say that that's 10 questions that I'm going to answer that were pre-written. And so now I am going to shift to answering your guys' questions. Also, don't forget that, like I said, the thing jumps around a lot, but you can do the super chat there, and you'll be able to highlight your question if you want me to make sure that I answer. And I definitely will answer it, and likely spend a lot of time on it if you do a super chat. So yeah, there you go. Okay, so let's see. Going into your guys' questions. Gene, I love your channel. Thank you. Do you think the estate will ever release DVD of Prince live on the big screen movie? That's an interesting question. I don't. I really don't. I think that they might take the video, like the concert footage that they use for that, and release it. Release like I believe they use the Welcome to America tour for that. I think if they took that and released that, that could be a really amazing DVD. Really the question is going to be when they release those and what order they release those, because that's going to really be the tricky thing. And I talked about it a little bit when I was doing my review of Celebration. Is like two of the videos that they showed us at Celebration, the first half of those videos had the same set list. So it's like, ooh, like that's a hard one. Like I wouldn't release those back to back, because they're very similar, or at least in the first half, obviously. The first part of it, probably not half, but the first part. So I don't think that they're going to, because live on the big screen, it's supposed to be a live thing. It's supposed to be that there's live music playing alongside the Prince recording, and that is part of the appeal. If you don't get that, then I don't know. That's a hard one. All right. All the critics love you in New York. How many times have you seen Prince live? I saw Prince live once in person. Obviously, I've seen a bunch of live footage, but I only saw him live once. It was 1997 Jam of the Year tour. If you go watch my Who is Prince's Friend? I think that's the name of it. It's one of my more recent ones. It was the very first one of May. Who is Prince's Friend? If you go check out that one, I frame that one a little bit more. I was wondering if you guys would be interested in me doing an actual like video about it, kind of like, let me tell you about that concert. I wonder if that's good enough for like a whole separate video. You guys let me know in the chat or in the comments if you guys think that would be a good video. Do I like D'Angelo? I listened to some D'Angelo. It was weird because listening to D'Angelo, it sounded like he was trying to mimic Prince a little too much for me. And it might just be that, I'm very sensitive to that sort of thing. I love people who have the same vibe as Prince, like Gary Clark Jr. He doesn't sound anything like Prince, but he has a Prince vibe to him. But as soon as somebody comes out and they're trying to sound like Prince, it kind of turns me off a little bit. That's just me. Uh, you know, personally, that's a personal thing for me. But a lot of people like D'Angelo. A lot of people tell me I should check out D'Angelo, but I haven't done that yet. I should actually sit down and really give him a shot again. But it really just didn't do much for me. At least not the first time I listened to him. So there you go. What do I think of New Power Soul? I like New Power Soul. It's funny, those albums that you don't think you like right away, and then you come back to it like years later and you like fall in love with it. It's funny when that stuff happens. Like I listened to 2010. I've been listening to that album like a ton. And I remember when that album first came out, I really didn't like it, but now I can't stop listening to it. It's like you kind of have to be in the right mindset. It's so weird. Thank you, Janelle. I see your super chat there, Janelle. If you didn't attach a question to it though, so I can't answer a question. But if you have a question, let me know, and I'll try and hit it. But thank you, I appreciate it. Um, let's see. So there's that. Do I have a set list of any of the shows at Celebration? I mean, not like written down, no. And honestly, I have a really terrible memory for that sort of thing. I probably should, like, you know what? If you go to Darling Nisi's Tumblr, I'll see if I can find a link to it. But Darling Nisi, she did a set list of all of the different concerts at Celebration. So go check her thing out. Yeah, go check her thing out. She's got a ton of that stuff. She's really good at that. I'm good at like commentary and stuff. She's good at actual like note taking and stuff because that is not me. That is not me at all. All right, so let's this is just me. Um you're doing a great job, Princess Friend, with the daily videos. Great work, much love, kudos. Thank you, Prince Gal. Um this whole, and let me just kind of stress, I want to talk about that a little bit. So the video a day in May was something that I was like, you know what, I really want to challenge myself. And I'm like, if I can do a video every day in the month of May, that would be 31 consecutive videos of various types. This one counts for today. But I've been doing some shorter ones, some longer ones, some stuff that I recorded at Celebration, lots of different types. Some are live streams, some are reviews. So I'm actually pretty happy. Like I've been pretty happy with the results so far. We are 12 days in. I have, I believe, another 6 videos in the can going forward, and then I have a few more ready to go that I need to record and get ready. So, I mean, we're looking pretty strong to not miss any days. If you notice, like near the tail end of the month, if I start doing like a bunch of live streams, it might be because I'm like, I don't have enough time to make the videos. Because of course, if you watch the video about how I make videos, they can take as little as an hour for like a 5-minute video, or they can take as much as like 10 hours if they're really more in depth and whatnot. So anyway, that was a long answer. Okay. Tell your wife happy Mother's Day. I definitely will. All the critics. Hey, Clint, thank you, Clint, for showing up, man. Thank you so much. Which of Prince's related artists is my favorite? I don't know. It seems like I'm pretty obvious with what my favorites are. Obvious, Shelby J. Shelby J is the bomb. But Shelby J was and is just an amazing singer, and I love her voice, and she is just wonderful. But I mean, I like a lot of the different, Prince alum and, the related artists and whatnot. Shelby J probably my favorite. That's why I'm so in like, I'm like in love with Shelby J. Her voice is just amazing, and she's just such a beautiful person inside and out, just so great. Um, all right, so let's see what I have here. Will they ever release Beautiful Strange with Mel B again? That's kind of a hard one because I mean, like it's all over YouTube and stuff. So, I think they would probably have to have a reason to release it. Like if there's, like if Mel B like did something amazing, like and then like, oh cool, like let's capitalize on that. Like it's all about timing, really. I think right now there's not really any kind of market specifically for that. But I mean, maybe something will happen later on. I don't know. Excuse me. But yeah, maybe, I don't know, maybe not. Let's see. What are your thoughts on Kanye West's Yeezus album? I'm not a Kanye fan, but I've listened to that album before. It was okay. I know. I feel like there should probably be more. You're sending me stickers from overseas, so grateful. Thank you. I will send you. I don't know if I have you. I don't know if I don't remember writing your address on a thing. So be sure. BB, make sure to go check the Patreon and make sure that you had your address in there. And then I will make sure that you get one, because if your address isn't in there, then I can't send it to you. But yeah, I'll totally send it overseas. Again, it's the difference of 3 stamps versus 1 stamp. So it's whatever. I will totally send you stickers even if you're overseas. It's fine, because I have a lot of overseas patrons and watchers and stuff, lots and lots of them. Let's see. What is my favorite Prince interview? I think my favorite Prince interview is probably the one with Kurt Loder in 1999. That is my favorite one. I mean, the one with Chris Rock is also very good, but I really like the one with Tavis Smiley later on. But I think probably my favorite one is Kurt Loder, because he was at ease. They were making jokes, like, you know, they knew each other a lot. So I think that one's probably my favorite. There you go. Where's Taika's book? Not a clue. She announced that she was writing a book, and then I have heard zero else about it ever since. So there you go. Did I ever read Kim Barry's book, and what did I think? I actually have a review of Kim Barry's book coming this week, so I will not spoil my thoughts here. You will have to wait. There you go. Did I hear the Gambino song Feels Like Summer? Yes, I'm actually going to be doing a review for his summertime pack that he released earlier this year. And I plan on doing a review of that this month. It's going to be one of our 31 videos in May. So look out for that. I actually really like Feels Like Summer and Summertime Magic, which are the 2 songs. Really great stuff. So there you go. Let's see. um, question. All right, Kimberly. I co-sign Southern Girls question. Yeah. Favorite album from the 2000s? From the 2000s. Is that, I guess, so they're not the 2010s, just the 2000s. Musicology is really up there, but Lotus Flower is also pretty amazing. So I'm going to say it's a tie between those two. Um, how is it that so many people have unreleased Prince material? It is called bootlegs, and it is called the internet, essentially. I mean, that's pretty much it. Monica, love that you shared your trip to Minneapolis, especially the Graffiti Bridge. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate anybody who actually watches any of my videos. I just, I jump on here and I ramble a lot, so it's nice that people actually enjoy my rambling. Let me see. Do I know if Prince was in the process of making another album before he passed? As far as I know, he was always working on the next album. I believe it was Hit and Run Phase 3. Those are the rumors that I've heard, but I mean, I don't really have any actual, anything. I've just heard through the grapevine, that sort of thing. No actual proof of that, but I would assume, yeah, he was always working on another album. What is the very first song you heard by Prince, and what is the first song you heard that made you recognize his genius? That's an interesting question. That's also 2 questions. You're cheating. It's hard for me to say the first song that I had ever heard. If you ask my mom, she was listening to "I Want to Be Your Lover" while I was in utero, and I was dancing around. So I'm going to say I want to be your lover, because that's the way my mom tells it, that she was listening to Prince while she was pregnant with me and I was dancing in her belly. So I'm going to say that was the very first song I heard. What was the very first one that made me recognize his genius? I think probably Let's Go Crazy. It's so funny. When I did my top 10 guitar solos, I was like, Let's Go Crazy is one of those songs that will make somebody become a Prince friend, and I completely stand behind that. So I think it did it for me. But what it did is it didn't make me necessarily love that song specifically, but it made me recognize the genius, and it made me want to look deeper. And then I ended up actually fall in love with him, and with other songs, with Graffiti Bridge, obviously. So there you go. What are my thoughts on the Nude era? I like the Nude tour and the Nude era and all that stuff. Uh, I feel like I should go in more, but I like that stuff. I dug it. Thank you so much for sharing your Graffiti Bridge tour. I actually cried while I was at work watching it. Oh, well, thank you. It was one of those, like, I almost cried while I was there, but I was able to hold it back, mostly because I was making jokes while I was going along and doing that. So I making jokes is like a defense mechanism for me whenever I feel like I'm going to cry. I like crack a joke, and then there you go. Do you think there will be another book? I mean, a continuous one from the one coming out? I don't think so. I believe you're talking about from the beautiful ones from the Prince memoir one. I don't think that they can do another one after that. Um, like there would be zero appeal. Like I guess they could, but I don't think that I don't think that they would. So that would be my guess. Of course, this is all speculation. At the current rate of music concert releases, do you think we'd have to wait 30 years before we have a release of anything from the Rainbow Children era? No. And here's the reason why. Because they're jumping around, they're not necessarily going in order. So I don't think that necessarily you'd have to wait 30 years because of the pace, because they're going to go in order, in a certain order. Like they might decide Rainbow Children next year. Like I wouldn't necessarily, put that somewhere there. That's just my thought. Anyway, um, when do you think that they'll do a 1999 remaster? I think this year was the year to do it because, well, let me see. Hold on. It's 2000. It's 2019. And that one was released in 82. I mean, okay, so it's not like a round year that makes it sound great, like it's an anniversary or something. But I mean, honestly, 1999 would be the next one. Again, because it was the second most selling album. So in terms of sales, they could guarantee themselves a lot more sales if that was the next deluxe version that they did. If they could do another album and make it a deluxe, like a Sign of the Times or something. But even Sign of the Times didn't sell as well as 1999 did. I did a whole video about that, but it got taken down. So there you go. Oh man. Do you think Jimmy Jam should have produced the vault music? I think that if he wanted to come in and do it, I think it would be great. Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis. They obviously have a sense of where Prince's creative flow would sound like, and being able to really cement that Minneapolis sound. But I don't think that we necessarily. I mean, and that's actually kind of the thing, right? Is everybody's like, no one should touch Prince's music. No one needs to touch it except for people that we trust. And I'm like, but yeah, though, I mean, like, there are a lot of really good music producers who could take the music and make it sound good, and then they could release it. I don't think it needs to be a specific person as long as the end result is still respectful to Prince. I think that's the goal here. So I mean, I've never like subscribed. Like, oh my gosh, there was a comment when I did the what was it? It was, oh yeah, it was my video for the fact that my non-update for the Netflix documentary. And there was a comment that somebody said, I would only trust Sheila E. to make a documentary about Prince because, she knows the real story. And I'm like, but wait a minute, she's not a filmmaker. So, that saying like you only would trust Sheila E. to make a movie is like saying I trust Ava DuVernay to make a Prince tribute album. Like, no, like they stay in their lane. They have their things that they do. That's not that's silly. That's just it's silly. It's a silly thing. So sorry if you're the person who said that. I'm not necessarily trying to call you silly, but it's a silly thought. Um, Hi. Hi, Deborah. And Smooth Criminal. Hello. Do you believe Prince was bisexual because a lot of his 80s music was very unisex? I do not believe that. If you listen to a lot of his music later on, he was pretty straightforward on a lot of that stuff. He did some stuff early on in his career for shock value, but not necessarily because it was, exactly who he was. And that's kind of the thing with Prince in his early years. Does it scare you when they say Prince has 100 years worth of music unreleased? Nope, it doesn't scare me. Here's the thing: I don't need to hear all of Prince's music. I have a ton of it, and they can continue releasing it until the day that I die. And if there's more after that, it doesn't bother me. I don't need to hear everything that he ever created. I'm fine with it. Honestly, I think it's wonderful if there was new stuff, if there was still new stuff even after I was dead. That would be amazing. That would be so wonderful for not just myself and my kids, but their kids and their kids. So, that would be amazing. I'm good with it. Yeah, so there we go. Let's see. Oh, yep, sure, it jumped. It jumped. Gosh darn it. Okay. Let me figure out where we're at here. Oh, that was favorite interview question. All right. I think I might have found my place again. Christy Tucker, thank you for showing up to the live stream, Christy. I know you always end up missing it. Like I hit stop and then you show up in the comments a minute later and you're like, like I missed it again. So definitely, I'm glad you're here too. Uh, okay, no, I did find, I found my spot. I found my spot. Let's see. How do you feel about the Originals album coming out? Um, so I did a video about the Originals album, and I have mixed reactions. I'm excited about the album. I think it's going to be good. There's some versions of some of those songs that I have not heard Prince's version of them, so I'm excited to hear those. Kind of either way. At the same time, it feels like a lackluster release after the already lackluster release of Piano and a Microphone 1983. Like, honestly, I think I just put it in a comment yesterday or today, and I was like, you know what? If they released the Originals as the first posthumous album with, um, with Piano and a Microphone as a bonus disc on that, so make it like a 2-album thing, that would have been a really good first posthumous release. Like the two of them together would have been amazing. And then this year we would have gotten something else after that. It just feels weird that I don't know. It feels weird because it feels like Prince never skimped on the music, and it seems like the record company is like, oh, we have to start, we have to release it in increments. It's just like you could, or you could make sure that we, us Prince friends, we get what it is that we want, and we don't want just these 10 songs. All right, now we have to wait another year. That's not how Prince released music. And you should at least fall at least somewhat in line with how he used to do things. It doesn't need to be exactly, obviously, but we should do it at least somewhat like it. I don't know. That's just my thought. Hey, Neil. Good to see you. Let's see. Answered that question already. A few of you guys are are asking like the same question over and over again. Oh, I see Neil. You popped up with a question here. Do I like the Beatles and what's my favorite album? Uh, I actually do like the Beatles quite a bit. It's kind of a toss-up, though. I really, really like the White Album, but the White Album is a little bit inconsistent. It's a little bit unbalanced. Like there's some really wonderful tracks on the White Album, but also some tracks that aren't necessarily that great. Uh, Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band is almost, it's almost like amazing, just amazing all the way through. But at the same time, I don't necessarily like those songs better than the really great songs on the White Album. So that's a hard one. That's a hard one to kind of, I'm going to say it's a tie between those two. Um, because those two are really, really amazing albums. And here's a little funny thing. This is something that me and my family do at birthdays. We don't sing the birthday song, just so it's kind of interesting. What we do is whenever we wake up in the morning and we don't go, "Hey man, happy birthday." We play the birthday song and we dance. And you say it's your birthday. It's my birthday too, yeah. Like it's a family tradition that we do, that we dance to that on the mornings of everybody's birthday. So it's a wonderful little tradition that my mom started, because she was a lot of my musical taste I got from my mom initially. So she actually got me into the Beatles as well. She's the one that got me into Queen. She tried to get me into hair metal and I couldn't do it. She was like, she's in the like Poison and stuff, and nah, can't do it. Sorry, you got me on a bunch of the other ones, but you got can't do that one. What do you think Prince would have wanted his legacy to have been? And do you think he would want unreleased tracks to be released? Yes. And he actually said that on several occasions. He said, the vault, it has a bunch of my music, and even after I'm gone, somebody will release that music. And he was even asked, like, who's gonna get that music out? He's like, somebody will. He'll be gone, so it won't be his responsibility anymore. He's gonna keep releasing the music, and when he's gone, somebody else will release the music. We'll see what happens. You know, if the estate doesn't do a great enough job, it might be it might be a friend uprising. Who even knows? So yeah, there you go. Let's see. Did it jump again? I think it did. Let's see. Okay, how do you feel about the originals? Oh, this is crazy. I wish I was better at this whole. I wish I was better at this whole live stream thing. After listening to Jill Jones' interview, I wondered, isn't she just like the Revolution? I don't really understand that. So I'm gonna say no, because she's one person and they're five. And that's a dumb answer. Um, in the vault, Prince has 100 years if they do one album a year. Today, 2019, nothing new, only remaster. Just make money on Prince fans. Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, I guess my question would be, and this is actually something that comes up a lot. This comes up quite a bit. Is there something wrong with making money? I don't think that there is. Um, Prince sold his albums in the way that was the best way for him to make money. He toured so that he could make money. And then so I mean, so like what's I mean, like that that's the problem is a lot of people are like, they're just trying to make money. Yeah. So that then they can release the next album. So I mean, and so that they can pay the lawyers and pay the people and do all the stuff. You need money. That's kind of how our economy works. We could just decide not to buy any albums, and then they run out of money, and then nobody gets any music. And I definitely do not want that. Um, so yeah, so I mean that's kind of my thought there. You have to be able to make money. It's not a cash grab if they're because they're releasing something that we don't like. Or that we would prefer to get something else. It's not necessarily a cash grab. I mean, it might, sometimes it is. I mean, sometimes that happens. But so far, they are releasing things that I think are worthwhile. They just don't, for me, it's more like a matter of timing. Again, if the very first release was the originals and Piano and a Microphone, that makes sense to me. That I might have been excited about. Piano and Microphone by itself as a very first release, no. Definitely not. It was, you know, it's good, but it wasn't great as a release. That's just my own personal opinion. So there you go. I'll stop with the answer there. I could keep going. I'm gonna stop the answer there though. Let's see. So Nunya says, I bought bootlegs, but I did not know they were bootlegs. Oh, that's interesting. I am not a big fan of buying bootlegs because anybody who's selling you bootlegs probably got that bootleg for free, and they are really just trying to make money. Now, if you get with a Prince friend and they say, "Hey, have you heard this thing?" and you say no, and you give it, and they'll probably give it to you. I'm actually a big proponent of that sort of thing. Like, there was a guy who, I was at Celebration and I had hung out with him. What was his name? Brian. It was Brian. Hey, Brian, if you're watching. Um, but we just got to talking, and he was telling me about, Tamar, and like he was a big fan and all that stuff. And I was like, well, did you hear, her album that she did with Prince? And he's like, no, I didn't. And I sent it to him. I sent him the album because it's a really amazing album. So, but here's the thing. I would not have done that if the album was for sale, because I feel like if that album is for sale, then somebody needs to make money off of that thing, not me, the person who owns the rights to that needs to make money off of the sale of that album. But since you can't buy it anywhere, I don't have a problem sending it to him. So I mean, that's kind of the way that I look at it. Now, if somebody was trying to sell me Tamar's album, I'd be like, no, and you're a crook. You know, so bootlegs are an interesting conversation to have, and I have a weird relationship with them, mostly because I'm a creator as well. I don't do music, but I do books, you know, and I'm a writer, so I've tons of sites have some of my books that you can download for free and you can torrent and all that stuff. So you know, I kind of have mixed feelings about it because I don't like the idea of piracy and all of that stuff. But also, if it's, you know, if it's for the greater good, if it's to attract new people to Prince's legacy and stuff like that, then I'm fine. Like, I'll share an album here and there, I'll share a track here and there, but never do I try to sell a bootleg. So don't buy bootlegs. My opinion. Um, what's the update on the most beautiful girl in the world controversy? I don't think there is an update. I don't think there's gonna be. I haven't heard any new news on that, so I think we'll just have to wait. I don't know. Um, let's see. Can I have a hug? If we're ever in the here, internet hug. There you go, internet hug. If we're ever in the same room, I can give you a hug. I'm a big hugger. I actually love giving hugs, so I'm fine with it. Let's see. I would like official Prince figures. I'm working on a Prince figure at the moment. That would be cool. You know, official ones would be harder to do. Like even Troy Gua's stuff is not, you know, official. So that would be an interesting one. Yeah. Um, yeah, so there you go. Let's see. A lot of friends have been complaining about the estate's latest releases, namely Piano and Microphone 83 and Originals. What are your thoughts on the albums as far as them being considered new? That's a good question, actually. I would say that they are new. I would say that they are new for a lot of people. You know, and that's kind of the thing. Like the Originals is going to be his versions of some of those songs, but some of those songs, like we know them, but like other people don't know them. So it's gonna be new music for those who are not so deep like we all are. Um, so I don't mind it, but I also don't necessarily, you know, here's the thing. My big issue with Piano and a Microphone 83 was that it was half baked. It was kind of half baked. Um, and then it was released as this brand new thing and all that stuff. And really what the estate needed to do was get an album of new music or something that was going to just burst out of the door and like slap everybody in the face with how amazing Prince is. And that was just not what that was. So it definitely it made it harder to enjoy, even though I actually really enjoyed Piano and a Microphone itself. It was slightly tainted just based on its timing, like I said again. So good questions, and I know that obviously I'm answering questions that you asked probably a while back, but I'm trying to be as thorough as possible and trying to hit everybody's questions. Prince Gal, newer to the channel, so truly apologize for asking something you probably addressed a million times, but did you ever meet Prince? I did not. Also, if you watch my Who is Prince's Friend video, I released it on May 1st. I kind of covered a lot of like the basics of who I am and why I do the channel and all that stuff, but I never actually met him in person. Prince's Friend is the name that I use because in the 90s, he stopped calling his fans fans and started calling them friends. So I'm Prince's friend, as are all of you in my mind, because that's the term that I choose to use. So yeah, there you go. All right. There is a question that says, can you show your love symbol tattoo? Yeah. So there's my love symbol tattoo here. Yeah. Okay. And then this is my yes tattoo I got recently. So there you go. Got both. Let's see. Would love to see an Undertaker EP released as part of maybe a blues album. That could be cool. That could be cool. Like, see, that would be a fun thing if they did a CD DVD release of The Undertaker, because I know that there's the video footage, and then there's also the actual recorded album, and you could actually release that as a set. Not everybody has that stuff, so that would actually be pretty fun. I think that would be great. Let's see. Everybody here needs to watch Prince's Friends. Prince was a modern day Sage video. I agree. And a lot of people actually have. It already crossed 10,000 views, which was amazing. And it obviously it's the channel, like it's the very first video you see when you pop in the channel, because I set it up that way because I really want everybody to go watch that video. I might end up changing that soon to a different video, so I guess we'll see. But I was pretty happy with that. But I believe also everybody needs to go and watch the Modern Day Sage video. Okay, so let's see. I have about 10 or 15 more minutes, and then I'm going to have to go. So I just want to make sure that I hit all of the rest of the questions here, or as many as I can, obviously. Where exactly is the Graffiti Bridge? So obviously, the Graffiti Bridge that's in the movie was a set. There actually was a Graffiti Bridge, but that was in a whole other separate location, but that got torn down. The Graffiti Bridge that we are referring to when I went to the Graffiti Bridge, the Rainbow Children Bridge, whatever you want to call it. That is, it's kind of it's like a tunnel underneath the main road that goes right past Paisley. Like it's basically right across the street from Paisley Park. So that's really where you want to go. It's Lake Anne is where you park, and then you just walk over to the tunnel. So look up Lake Anne in Chanhassen if you want to know where to go. So there you go. What did I think of Jesse Johnson Bare My Naked Soul album? I haven't listened to it yet. So I'm only just now about to really jump in to, really jump into Jesse Johnson's discography. So I don't actually have an opinion yet. I saw him live. He was wonderful. So I'm going to give it a shot. We'll see what happens. Hopefully it's good. Hopefully I like it. I don't like to listen to stuff and then do a review and be like, this stuff wasn't great. Like I really don't want to do that. I really like to try to keep the channel as positive as possible. Sometimes I don't like stuff though. And if I'm going to spend the time listening to it and writing a review and stuff, then you're going to know I didn't like it. So let's see. There's a lot of stuff here. You guys have been busy with your questions. Have you any knowledge of the estate releasing the concerts of 21 Nights in London on DVD or download? I do not. Hopefully, we do hear some stuff. It would be nice. But I don't know anything right now. Let's see. Favorite album from 1990 to 2001? I don't know. That's kind of a hard one. Probably the Gold Experience, because the Gold Experience is kind of the easy answer. If you were like, hey, you can't choose the Gold Experience, then it would probably be Emancipation then at that point. So Graffiti Bridge was my first album, but it's not necessarily my favorite album. I actually have a lot of albums I like more than Graffiti Bridge, but Graffiti Bridge still has a special place in my heart, So there you go. Do I think a Michael Jackson featuring Prince song would be good? I don't really think so. I think that they had two very different styles, and I don't think that they necessarily would complement each other. That's just my own personal opinion. I would love to have been proven wrong. I would love to hear it and be like, "Oh my God, that just blew my mind." But like, I'm trying to picture it in my head, and I don't know. Probably not. Do I have any pets or children with Prince-related names? No, I don't. Yeah, that was a pretty easy one. So have you seen Guava Island? Am I going to review it for the turnout? I have not seen Guava Island yet, and thank you for the reminder, because now I have to go watch it. It's on my list of things to watch, but I just haven't had the chance to do it. And that review will likely, I don't know, that review could be either here on Prince's Friend or over on the turnout. So I don't know, we'll have to see. I like the idea of doing it here because I talk a lot about Childish Gambino here. So I don't know, we'll have to see. Let's see. What would I like to see is the next release? I mean, what I want to see is the next release is an album of music I haven't heard. That's what I want, personally. But it's not going to be, so I'm okay with that. I think we have to wait till 2021. I'm doing more research on that, but I believe we have to wait till 2021 before we get like really unreleased stuff. Right now, we're getting kind of like things in the middle because of legal issues and contracts and stuff. So we'll see what happens. Let's see. Next release should be a theater release of one of the unreleased movies. Maybe. I mean, they could have also been unreleased because they weren't like done or good. Do you know if any songs from the Black Album could be added to an album? Why would they need to be? They're on the Black Album. So I don't know. That's a weird question. What is the Prince song you listen to the most? The Prince song I listen to the most? Probably Funk and Roll. Most, and I say that only because every time I hear one version of Funk and Roll, I also feel the need to listen to the other version of Funk and Roll. So I think that that's probably the most accurate answer is Funk and Roll because I'm listening to it twice every time I listen to it. But otherwise, again, and I've said this before, Prince did not write songs necessarily all the time. He mostly composed albums. So a lot of the time I will listen to a Prince album multiple times, but I don't like throw on this song and just listen to it, a million times because it's part of a overall experience. So there you go. Oh, my wife says that I listen to Batman the most. Bat Dance specifically. Now, of course, but that's not fair because I listen to Bat Dance a lot because Bubby likes Bat Dance, and we put it on because he likes to dance to it. So my son Evan. So there you go. But you know what? That's a good point. I guess she's right. I actually do listen to Bat Dance way more than other Prince songs, but it's not because of me. So there you go. What is my favorite Prince look? Oh, that's really hard. That's a hard one. Pass. Uh, did Prince have a favorite song of his that he liked to cover? That he liked to see covered live by another singer? Oh, that's a good question. I actually don't know that answer. I mean, I'll have to look and see if there's an answer somewhere to that question, but I actually don't know. There you go. Um, I'm noticing, Neil. I'm noticing that you're writing stuff and then you're taking it back. So I don't feel free to throw questions. I'll answer it, Neil. Like you're awesome. You've been around for a while. I'll answer any of your questions. Who owns the house filmed in Purple Rain? I thought the estate owned it, but I also heard that it was owned by somebody else. So I don't know. I actually don't know. I think you're doing an awesome job with all the videos. Thank you and have a blessed day. Have a wonderful day. Thank you, Nancy. I appreciate you a lot. What is your favorite song that Prince wrote for another artist? I don't know. There's a lot of them. I'm going to say The Unexpected for Liz Warfield. And if you go listen to The Unexpected, you'll know why. Did you listen to Superfly Sister by Michael Jackson? Yeah, it's on. Yes, it's on Blood on the Dance Floor. I'm not there yet. I'll get to it. What artist or band is most like Prince when he raps? In other words, what band or artist has rap similar to Prince? I don't know. Prince's rap style was pretty much just his own. Um, I don't think anybody really sounded like him. Yeah, no, I don't. I don't think anybody does. And that's honestly that's telling of a rapper with a really good style is like, you can't just be like, oh, well, that he sounds like this person, or this person sounds like them. Like, they really do have an original style. So there you go. What can we expect from your channel on June 7th? Not a clue. Prince didn't really do his birthday all that much. So, so far, I believe the last few years, I've done a video about how I spent his birthday. So I guess I'll figure out how I'm doing that, and then we'll know what kind of video I'm doing. Have I listened to Forbidden from Todrick Hall? Yes. I didn't do a review on it, but I really dug it. It was a pretty good follow up to Straight Outta Oz, but some of the songs were kind of similar sounding, but also, it was fine. I dug it. I dug it quite a bit, actually. Do I like Kevin Smith? Yeah, I love his movies. He's a great movie maker. Um, let's see. It gets annoying with the autocorrection on here, so that's why I keep deleting my questions. What's your favorite Prince duet? Prince duet. I mean, he didn't really do that many duets. I mean, so I'll go with the obvious one, which would be him and Rosie Gaines. Nothing compares to you. But then I like that one mostly. I like that one mostly because of Rosie Gaines and not necessarily because of Prince. So that one's maybe a little tougher. Yeah. All right. So yeah, so there we go. So I'm going to say thank you to everybody who showed up. I think we got up to 90 people at one time, which is really, really awesome. So I appreciate everybody who came and checked out, this live stream, came and hung out with me on Mother's Day morning. We are actually going to be going and cleaning our house now and getting the house ready for dinner with the moms here. Before we do that, I do want to say, obviously, check us out at Prince's Friend YT, and that's on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And you obviously want to subscribe to the channel, like this video, leave a comment, share it around. Lots of different things to do. Hopefully, I got to as many questions as you guys are happy that I answered. I answered a bunch of questions that I've been sitting on for a while, but then I also wanted to really get to your guys' questions. And again, if you are interested in, supporting the channel directly, obviously hit up Patreon. That's patreon.com/princessfriend. And that is the best way to support the channel. You can do as little as $2 a month, and you get access to outtakes and exclusive things. And, I throw ideas, and, you get stickers and all kinds of stuff. There's tons of stuff that I give to my patrons for going that little extra mile. But otherwise, this has been so fun. So thank you guys for coming and hanging out with me. And until next time, may you live to see the dawn. And